Now time to move on to the
Sweet.
big stuff. The very big stuff. So, what ended up happening is that after I started building all of the houses, I started with the 2 houses, and then I started building another 2 houses, and I'm like, you know what? Screw it, I'm gonna build a skyscraper. And this was the first one to come into being. This one right here.
Madness. This is why you don't give everyone creative mode powers, because they start building New York City or Amsterdam or whatever by themselves.
Yep.
We're all
Complete
mad
madness.
here.
Yes,
So if
indeed.
you take a tour inside, I try to keep to obviously realistic proportions. So the building has a core. There's a lobby off to the side here. And then you would go up each floor following the core. Sadly, there is no swan diving off of these because, as you can tell, there's just pavement and ground surrounding all of the buildings.
Challenge accepted.
Blowing things up.
Oh, and
It is
Enderman.
possible
Enderman.
to swan dive.
It's not
Enderman
recommended.
took some damage there. And then the top also includes trees. That's a theme that I was trying to get at. And then also up here, there's a second rooftop for the lobby area here.
You say that it's not possible, but it's certainly possible to swan dive, like so. Swan dive! Thud. And thanks in creative mode, no problem whatsoever.
Okay, and let's
I'm-
move to the next building.
Yeah.
Alright.
So through the tight corners,
Blip, 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 blip,
this
blip,
predominantly
blip,
glass
blip,
building
blip,
is the
blip,
next
blip,
one I
blip.
made.
Chicken, 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 chicken.
Oh,
chicken,
Oh,
glass.
very glass.
chicken, 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 chicken.
Lots of glass.
Oh,
That
who
might have
made
been
that
from
hole?
Edmod.
Oh, boy.
Edmond seems to have a creeper attraction thing.
Well,
He is
then,
not a
the
creeper
staircase
attracted
set.
person.
Thank you for fixing it. Actually, that part is glass block, but
Wenchins,
let's just
I like
stay away.
the,
Let's just stay away from that side.
Wenchins, I like
Well,
the,
you know, that's what happens.
staircase. I like this.
We just had some vandals. They probably just didn't like that their football team lost, so they went and destroyed part of it.
And the
Yeah.
rooftop includes 2 pine trees and 2 normal trees.
No, it's Edmod, the human creeper.
The human
That's
creeper
pretty-
attractor.
So you've
You
built
said,
like I'm looking as a general count. You've got like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 skyscrapers.
About
Kind of
a
skyscrapers.
couple of these were made by Jackpotty. Like the train
Jack
station
Pody.
here was made
It's
by
pronounced
Jackpotty,
Jack
and the
Pody.
incomplete hotel was made by Jackpotty.
Oh, well, check that out when I think actually didn't we check that out already? I can't remember already. I've recorded it. No, I guess we haven't.
Yet.
Okay,
Okay, we'll
and
check that
on
out
to
later.
the next one. This one is the third, skyscraper I built.
That's a very nice skyscraper you have there.
Now this up here, this is
It
Hollandish.
shame if anything
The mushroom.
No,
that's-
this
that's
one,
very
this one I
Holland.
particularly like more because I rather than having a centralized stairwell at the bottom of the building, what I decided to do is I had the stairwell off to the side here, and kind of made the core. I offsetted the core to the side here, and then to balance off the structural supporting for the building, I added exterior supports to the side, which are these wooden fences.
Sweet, so trying to maintain at least some level of realism, which of course in a Minecraft game is pointless, but it does help add to the game if you want to support that, which I do. I support a more realistic look to buildings.
And I put a creeper helipad on the top.
Seems legit.
Swan dive.
And then the next building I made is this giant one right here. This one, I went a bit more crazy. I kind of tried to put a bit of a randomized tone to the modernist architecture. And before anyone like says this is virtually impossible, there are buildings like this in real life. I just tried to make sure that it was possible to build. Yeah, go ahead.
I have to compliment you on your Hollandish authenticity with the mushrooms on the top. That's very Hollandish.
I didn't do that.
Hang on,
Someone did that.
That was best Tux. Are you surprised?
No, not really. Now, this building is a bit more randomized. If you go inside, the stair rolls are roughly in the same area, but I tried to make sure that that they were able to be interconnected fairly easily. The building on each floor roughly expands or contracts depending on what section of the building you're in, and this one actually took the most time out building the most because it was the most it's the most basically aesthetically varied building that I have on
Very
the city.
avant-garde.
It is indeed very avant-garde.
Oh.
I'm just making
that's
my
sweet.
way up floor by floor. Yeah, this is kind of clear that this is the type of the building that was very benefited by being in creative mode because so many iron blocks. You would not get away with doing this in survival.
Yep. And actually, it just
Well,
gets more ludicrous
iron's
as
pretty easy to
time goes
find.
on.
Not that easy.
Yeah, but
really.
not in this quantity. Still
Don't
making
worry,
my way up.
it gets more ludicrous as I continue on with the chronological order of the construction of these buildings.
Blue. Behind you.
Another thing
Hello.
that I want to kind of point out in my architectural style that I kind of built my founding of my building designs on is rather than having a complete direct from iron to glass look, what I've been doing for most of these buildings, especially for those residential buildings, I've offset it with some other brick type. Like in this case, it's stone, but on my houses, it's wood, and it kind of offsets it so it's off to one side, and it's not like symmetrical.
Uh-huh. Very cool.
And on to the next building. This building that over here, which is uncomfortably close to, I think, Chirpa's incompleted mansion, which will never be completed, and I was going to take it down, but I didn't know if Chirpa would like that or not. But this
Probably
is the
not.
next building that I made. This was the next building that I made. Oh my god, my mouse. But this was the next building I made. This one, as you can tell, is all iron. I started to transition from stone bricks to
Very
stone, then to stone and iron, and now completely to iron. So this
Very
one is more of a
looking.
narrow design.
I have one
It's
question
still
though,
kind
by
of-
chance. Where would you locate
Yeah.
the toilet in a house like this? Where would the toilet be located?
Yeah, that would be a concern.
I do not know.
You might want to
Like-
install walls or something somewhere in the house.
Some
Well, do
curtains
what they
would be
have in
nice.
Do what they have in Amsterdam. They have public urinals.
Oh, that's
I
wonderful.
don't.
Well, that's disturbing beyond control.
Well, when chance, is this a incorporated swan dive window here, or is it just broken?
No, I was gonna put a greenhouse in here, but I never got around to it.
Oh, but no, I mean here, when chance, there's a hole in the window. Is that for swan diving?
An Enderman
Swan.
must have.
That might have been
got a swing at
Edmod.
it. That might have either been Edmod or an Enderman.
Ouch, ouch.
So we'll just
Edmond
do
was
that.
having a duel with me and he ran up into a skyscraper and jumped out.
Oh, you guys.
Hey, I didn't break any windows, it was him.
Chill, it's on
And
creative
then-
mode. It's easy to fix.
No.
And then we got this giant. What came up next is this giant monster over here.
Go Denmark.
Holy crap.
This is
So
the
you've got, like, a-
world. This is the I call it the Euro building because it has all European countries on it. I tried to
It's
keep it
so
consistent.
large that the map isn't rendering completely. I have to run around and make sure it renders all the way.
Where's Romania? I don't see Romania anywhere.
4 sides. I mean, yeah, 4 sides, so 4 flags. So I try to keep it somewhat
England?
relevant to no. So over here, if you come to my side, over here is the flag of the Netherlands, obviously to indicate that the town's origination or origins, creative inspirations. So here's the flag in the Netherlands, basically France's flag tilted on its side. And then over here I have Denmark.
Legoland!
With a little remark from Gus on the side here. And then over here I have Belgium, because I couldn't think of another flag to use.
Chocolate.
And then obviously I had to include Sweden.
Yeah.
Because
Why'd you
we're
include
Minecraft.
Sweden on the wall? That's hard to... Oh, no, never mind. I see. I thought it was kind of facing a weird wall, but that makes sense.
Yep.
I like
And
how you can,
then,
like, fly through the middle. That's fun. Right here.
Yeah, in these buildings I decided to build a hole in the middle, and I kind of like separated it. I was going to originally do two skyscrapers, but I decided to combine it into one. And on the inside it includes a centralized core once again. Centralized core with 2 stairwells.
You just
And I
love your
put-
skyscrapers.
Yep. Now, some places, I didn't fully finish, I guess, because I must have forgotten about them. But, I was thinking about putting a pond there so you could swan dive off of it, but I dropped my plans, sadly. And then at the top of the building, there is a, there's nothing at the top of the building, but it's an all-glass fence line, if I'm not mistaken. And then...
Now that isn't offensive. Get it? Fence offense.
Do you have a tree growing in the middle of your core?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
Wee.
No, Ajax, that's a Myrana farm. I'm there.
Creeper.
So this is the... what did you call
it's
this
kinda
building
far
again?
from
The
you guys.
UN? The European building?
Yeah, the Euro building.
So what's
No,
the
I
one
think
right
the
next to it?
European would be better with Euro money.
The World
Financial.
Currency Building.
I think
Oh, here we go.
financial center.
American dollars.
I personally didn't like that one because it's the least like unique one that I had to make. I'm sorry I couldn't include your monetary unit. I did the Euro though. I personally
It's
like the Euro
all-center.
because I did the Euro and it's actually probably one of the better ones I've made because it's actually fairly accurate. It took me a few tries to get it done. So I have the Euro over here in European Union colors, blue and gold. And then right next to it I have the Japanese yen, also in the country's colors, white and red. And then obviously money had to be in green because that's just the way I had. And then over here I have the sterling or the pound, but the UK flag is blue, white, and red. So so I had to try to figure out a way to. So I decided to go with the more prominent colors that contrasted better. So blue and red were the final colors. And then
Yeah, it fits.
the building is. So the building is basically, in a sense, 2 separate skyscrapers. Both have cross trusses that you've seen on buildings that I've made before. So it's a cross truss based design. But then on the top here the buildings are combined into one to make it into so then it's a much larger building, and then so technically it's like both a single building yet it's not a single building.
So you have to cross over at the top story.
Yep.
Well, dude, this is crazy. Like, all these buildings that you've made, this is a lot of work. All these skyscrapers.
Yeah, I guess you could say it wasn't. Well, creative mode made it a lot easier and just took time. And most of this was done like during a school night, like at like 1 a.m. when I had nothing to do and I couldn't sleep.
I'm sure your
But,
parents love that.
Well, the
Like,
computer's
what
in
were
my
you
room,
doing?
I just keep the door closed.
Aha,
But,
well, how do you know? What if they're watching this series?
Well,
What if they're big fans of Pixelated Pickaxe?
And they don't even know how to use YouTube, so I'm not really worried about that.
Ah. Well, then you're lucky
Well,
then.
well,
If you need to
what
give
if-
the
what
if you need
What
them,
if
if
one
you
of
need
their
to give them the
friends
links to
smuggled
your
it on
own
VHS?
channel, then I think you're fine.
What if one
That's
of their
true.
friends smuggled the Pixelated Pickaxe on VHS home to them every day? What would that be?
Pixelated
no.
Pickaxe on
And
VHS.
then-
Smuggle a Pixelated Pickaxe. Yeah.
So I'm just trying to
And
count
then-
all the
Pixelated
towers.
Pickaxe.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7 skyscraper-ish. Plus all your other crazy buildings. That's insane. And the farm, your brick buildings, the other
There's
stone
more.
buildings. All right,
There's more.
continue.